The Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G is supposed to be the best of the best that Samsung has to offer, minus a bendable screen. This is the most expensive of Samsung's conventional smartphones, and it has all the bells and whistles, including of course an enormous screen, a top-tier processor, a 108 megapixel camera, loads of RAM and storage, and of course the Galaxy Note series S Pen. But is this all too much in one package, and is it the right direction for Samsung to be taking? This is our review of the new Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G. But before we go ahead, please do remember to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you know whenever we post a new video. The Galaxy Note 20 Ultra is as big as it gets for conventional Samsung smartphones. It packs a beautiful 6.9-inch AMOLED screen, but thanks to those curved sides and narrow borders all around, the phone doesn't look ridiculously huge. It's still more than a handful, but not completely outrageous by today's standards. You might have trouble fitting it in some pockets, and you definitely don't want to use it one-handed all the time. Samsung has included a high refresh rate panel this time, and it makes the smartphone look and feel responsive. It's also bright with remarkably vibrant colors. The curved sides always result in some reflections and a shift in color tone, but this isn't too distracting. When you turn the phone around, you'll be greeted with a non-slippery, frosted matte finish and a huge camera bump. This not only makes the phone top-heavy, but also means you can't easily use it when it's lying flat on its back. Both the front and the back of the phone are protected by Corning's new Gorilla Glass Victus, but the camera module gets Gorilla Glass 6. Coming to hardware specs, the sole configuration on sale in India gets the Exynos 990 processor just like the Galaxy S20 series. It's paired with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage. Some people might not feel that they're getting their money's worth because of this Exynos processor, but the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra is still extremely fast. You won't notice the slightest delay in ordinary use. PUBG Mobile ran very well and gameplay was perfectly smooth. Asphalt 9 Legends also didn't give me any trouble. The back and the frame of the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra did get quite warm, but not enough to be uncomfortable. One interesting thing to note is that this is a hybrid dual SIM phone, but although there are only 2 slots, you can use an eSIM for your second phone connection, so the second one is free for a micro SD card for storage expansion. No Galaxy Note device is complete without an S Pen, and this year Samsung has yet again made some improvements. Thanks to the bump in the refresh rate and lowering the latency, the S Pen is more responsive than ever. Users of previous Galaxy Note devices will know how the S Pen lets you take notes. It also now supports air gestures that you can perform while holding the button down. These could in theory help you work quickly without having to switch between the pen and your finger to navigate through apps and the Android UI, but in my experience gesture detection didn't work consistently. One thing I found annoying was the fake scratchy pen on paper sound that plays when using the S Pen, but this can be disabled. Also, the S Pen silo is now on the left instead of the right. The Galaxy Note 20 Ultra is backed by a 4500 mAh battery, and I was able to get at least a day and a half with frequent use of the S Pen and cameras, plus a little light gaming. It ships with a 25-watt charger and takes an hour to go from 0 to 75%. There's also Qi wireless charging and reverse charging. Coming to the huge camera module, the 108 megapixel primary rear camera is of course the star of the show. It's joined by a 12 megapixel f2.2 wide-angle camera, a 12 megapixel f3.0 5x optical zoom camera, and a laser autofocus sensor. The Galaxy Note 20 Ultra takes extraordinarily crisp and detailed photos in the daytime, even of objects at a distance. Focusing is quick and exposures are metered well. Even on a cloudy day, colors popped nicely and detail was generally excellent. In a few rare cases, the focus was a bit off. Close-ups have a nice natural depth and there's no need for a macro camera as you're prompted to switch to 2x magnification, which delivers much the same effect. The wide-angle camera is also quite effective, but there is a considerable fisheye effect at the sides of the frame. In the daytime, you can select up to 4x zoom, which uses the primary sensor since there's enough detail to crop and magnify. At 5x, the phone switches to its optical zoom camera and you can notice an improvement in quality. You can go up to 50x in increments using a series of buttons that will appear to the side of the shutter button, or slide your finger up and down on the camera selector to zoom smoothly. If you're in a dark environment, the main sensor continues to be used and you can zoom up to 20x digitally. You obviously won't get great detail at such high magnification, but it can still come in handy. Performance dips at night as expected, but I was absolutely staggered by the quality of results that are possible using the night mode on the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. Even indoors, in the middle of the night, this phone was able to pick up truly shocking amounts of detail, often bringing out colors and highlighting objects that the naked eye couldn't even perceive. Some shots looked as bright and detailed as if they'd been taken on a budget phone in the daytime. It isn't exactly night vision, but it's very nearly the same thing. You'll have to wait about 7 seconds for a night mode shot, but it's well worth it. The telephoto camera doesn't do so well at night, but the wide-angle one surprisingly does, and the night mode is available for all three. You can record video at up to 8K, though that might be impractical. Footage is stabilized well at 1080p, but there was a little jitter at 4K. There's also a super steady toggle that uses the wide-angle camera and crops the frame to adjust for shakes. Unsurprisingly, the front camera takes excellent shots in the daytime and at night. You can apply a wide-angle effect which essentially just prevents cropping and also apply several effects. To sum it up, the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra is a phenomenal companion device, in many senses more than a smartphone. Its camera capabilities are truly incredible, and the S Pen could make a lot of everyday tasks go smoothly once you get used to it. If you don't mind the huge size of this phone and have the money, about 1 lakh rupees of it, you will most likely be very happy with this phone. So if you want a high-end phone and the S Pen functionality but don't particularly care about the cameras, you can go for the non-Ultra Galaxy Note 20. This model costs around 80,000 rupees, which is still super premium, but you have to make certain trade-offs, such as the lack of 5G, a polycarbonate back, a 60Hz flat Full HD Plus display, less storage, and a slightly less responsive S Pen. So that's it for our review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G. Thanks for watching, and as usual for all things tech, do visit us at gadgets360.com.